These are 5815s. They are our most recent humbucking pickup. They have a beautiful clarity to them. When we put them in this guitar, it was almost risky. Maybe they would be too clear, but they're not. You can hear it. It's very jazzy sounded. They have a big bass note, and they're not overpowering. And so when we put them in, I think it was the second iteration of the guitar, you were like, no, this is cool, leave it alone, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what that is. And the other thing we decided to do is make the control layout much simpler than a lot of 4-knob archtops. Yeah. Are you having guys trouble with the 2 knobs? It's all cool?
No, it's between this and this here, you get a lot.
Yeah. It's easy to get to too, and it's not it's not in the way. It's right there. You can get to it.
So we decided to make it a simpler layout, and I think it's working. I mean, what's coming out of these amps? They're set pretty flat with a little reverb and no gain. I think it sounds very, very in the genre in a beautiful way. Here's the bracing. Basically, we take a thick piece of spruce and we carve it out and leave the bracing, right? So it's a real archtop, except instead of gluing the braces in, we leave them, right? And we needed it to be strong enough to hold the string tension for the bridge on the top, but loose enough that the thing was still ringing like crazy, right? Yeah. Same thing on the back. We left enough that the side was not vibrating and the back was not vibrating. The idea was whatever sound was coming out of the back of the guitar wasn't going to be coming out of the front of the guitar, right? So we put braces in the back, which is very unusual for an archtop. It's more of an acoustic guitar theory, right? But this is not that dissimilar from the way the old archtops that are so famous in the 50s and the 40s and the 60s were braced. It's just that we call it integral bracing. We left it out of one piece of wood, and then we put some extra wood around where the knobs were and that kind of thing. But things ringing like crazy, right? Yeah, and that's before we've even carved the top in it. We did it from what the masters started with, and bingo. I mean, it sounds...
Yeah, you nailed it.
You got this guitar, 2 weeks ago in the mail?
Yeah.
What was your experience?
The first thing I noticed is the pickups capture everything you play. So you have to play a lot more precise, but the tone sustains a lot longer than the typical guitar, jazz guitar. I noticed that the sweeps on the EQ was a lot broader. The neck is a lot more like playing a conventional electric guitar, so it doesn't feel like you're struggling to play. And it just plays beautifully. I mean, the tone is even. If you want it to be darker, you just scoot back a little bit here and it sounds like you're playing a bigger body. If you come up here more towards the top, it's almost like you're playing like a semi-hollow, I would say.
Well, you called and you said you thought we really had something here. What did you mean by that?
Because I think a lot of guitar players who don't play jazz, like I'm not a pure jazz guitar player, but if you play jazz style incorporated with other things, you don't shy away from the instrument. The body's very, very comfortable. It's a nice size. The neck still feels like you're playing one of your other guitars, and it's just versatile. But for me, the sound is super clear. So as long as you're confident about what you're playing, it's like this is the guitar that you want to play live in the studio. It's going to pretty much capture everything you play.
And what I liked about it is that if you turned the guitar off, it was loud. Can you play it at the same volume? For an archtop, that's pretty loud. I mean, my experience. Was that your experience as well?
Exactly. When I first pulled it out of the case, I went, wow, because I never played a guitar that played as evenly as this guitar,
That's good.
Yeah. When we were working on this project, the thing, of course, it's gorgeous, and I said, Paul, do you want me to take this thing out and really road test it? And he says, yeah, Rick, I want you to take it out and bang it around and road test it and even have it stolen. If you got to, we got to find out what's going on with this thing. So I said, sure. So, you know, anyway, one of my little gigs around the D.C. area here, I did this one gig I do with Ritz-Carlton. I was playing with the band that night and playing, and the band leader comes up to me after the first set, and he says, man, he says, I like that guitar you're playing. It really projects great. He says, fire the other guitar. So I knew we were on the right track, I guess.
Fire the other guitar. That's great.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that before.
So do you guys want to play some so everybody
play
can hear?
little blues or something, maybe.
Sure.
It's up to you guys.
Okay.
A, B flat, A.
A's good.